Unexpected challenger. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council buzzed with anticipation. Hundreds of alien delegates from across the Milky Way gathered for what they thought would be a routine meeting. Little did they know that today's session would shake the very foundations of their interstellar society. High Counselor Zixnera, a towering figure with iridescent scales and multiple eye stalks, called the meeting to order. Esteemed colleagues, the alien's voice reverberated through the chamber. We have an urgent matter to discuss. It seems that the primitive species from the backwater planet Earth has achieved faster than light travel. A wave of murmurs and scoffs rippled through the assembly. Earth was considered nothing more than a curiosity, a planet full of beings barely out of their Stone Age by galactic standards. The idea that they could have made such a leap was preposterous to most. Ambassador Clarak of the Zentari Dominion, a mantis-like being known for his sharp wit, spoke up. Surely this is a mistake, High Counselor. These humans can barely leave their own solar system. How could they possibly have mastered FTL technology? Zixnera's eye stalks swiveled, focusing on a holographic display. Our long-range sensors detected an Earth vessel emerging from a wormhole near the Proxima Centauri system. We have visual confirmation. The hologram flickered to life, showing a sleek spacecraft unlike anything the Council had seen before. Its design was both elegant and intimidating, with pulsing energy fields surrounding its hull. The assembled aliens watched in stunned silence as the ship maneuvered with impossible grace, defying the laws of physics as they understood them. Impossible, whispered Clarak, his mandibles clicking in agitation. But the evidence was undeniable. Somehow, in the span of mere decades, humanity had not only caught up to the galactic community, but had potentially surpassed them in some areas of technology. As the Council debated furiously about how to respond to this development, an alert sounded. A communication request from the very ship they were observing. Zixnera, after a moment's hesitation, accepted the transmission. The hologram shifted, and a human figure appeared, Captain Aria Chen, her dark eyes gleaming with determination, addressed the Council. Greetings, esteemed members of the Galactic Council. I am Captain Aria Chen of the Earth ship Prometheus. We come in peace, seeking dialogue and mutual understanding. The chamber erupted in chaos. Some delegates called for immediate action to neutralize the potential threat, while others advocated for cautious diplomacy. Through it all, Captain Chen remained calm, her posture radiating confidence. We understand your surprise, she continued, and we apologize for any alarm we may have caused. Earth has been aware of the galactic community for some time, thanks to our quantum observation technology. We chose to remain hidden, developing our capabilities in secret to ensure we could engage with you as equals. High Counselor Zixnera, struggling to maintain order, addressed the human. Captain Chen, your arrival is unexpected. The Council will need time to discuss this development. We request that you power down your vessel and prepare to receive a delegation. Chen's lips curved into a slight smile. With all due respect, High Counselor, we will maintain our current status. We are here to open diplomatic channels, not to surrender. Earth is ready to join the galactic stage, but we will do so on equal terms. The boldness of the statement sent shockwaves through the Council. Never before had a newly contacted species dared to speak to them in such a manner. It was a clear signal that humanity would not be easily cowed or controlled. As the initial shock wore off, a new reality began to dawn on the assembled aliens. The galaxy as they knew it had changed forever. Humanity, far from being a primitive curiosity, had emerged as a force to be reckoned with. The next few hours would be crucial. The Council needed to decide how to respond to this upstart species that had so thoroughly upset the balance of power. Would they extend a hand in friendship, or would they see humans as a threat to be contained? As debates raged and alliances shifted, one thing became clear: the age of human isolation was over. For better or worse, Earth had announced its presence to the stars, and the galaxy would never be the same. Diplomatic tensions. The Galactic Council Chamber, once a bastion of order and protocol, had devolved into barely controlled chaos. Species that had coexisted peacefully for millennia now found themselves divided over how to handle the sudden emergence of humanity on the interstellar stage. Ambassador Clorak of the Centauri Dominion pounded his chitinous appendage on the podium. We cannot allow these upstarts to dictate terms to us. The Council has stood for eons, maintaining peace and order. These humans must be put in their place. His words were met with a mix of cheers and jeers. The chamber was clearly split, with older, more established races backing Clorak's hardline stance, while younger civilizations saw opportunity in Earth's arrival. High Counselor Zixnera's voice cut through the din. Order. We must approach this situation with wisdom, not fear or aggression. The aliens' eye stalks swiveled, taking in the assembly. I propose we send a diplomatic envoy to the human vessel. We must learn more before making any rash decisions. As debates raged, Captain Aria Chen and her crew aboard the Prometheus watched the proceedings via their quantum observation technology. Chen's second-in-command, Commander Raj Patel, stood beside her, his brow furrowed in concern. "They're not taking our arrival well," Captain Patel observed. Chen nodded, her expression resolute. "We expected resistance. Raj, change is never easy, especially for those who've held power for so long. But we didn't come all this way to back down at the first sign of trouble." On the council station, a small delegation was hastily assembled. Led by Zixnera, it included Clorak and representatives from 3 other major galactic powers. As they boarded a shuttle bound for the Prometheus, tensions ran high. The human ship's docking bay was a marvel of technology, with sleek robotic arms guiding the alien shuttle to a perfect landing. As the delegation disembarked, they found themselves face to face with Captain Chen and a small honor guard. "Welcome aboard the Prometheus," Chen greeted them, her voice warm, but her posture unyielding. "We appreciate your willingness to engage in dialogue." Zixnera stepped forward, towering over the human captain. "We have many questions, Captain Chen. Your sudden appearance and level of technological advancement are concerning to many in the council." Chen nodded, unsurprised. "I understand, High Counselor. We're prepared to address your concerns. If you'll follow me to our conference room, we can begin discussions in earnest." As they walked through the ship's corridors, the alien delegates couldn't help but marvel at the advanced systems on display. Holographic interfaces flickered to life as they passed, and gravity seemed to shift subtly to accommodate the various species' comfort. In the conference room, Chen activated a holographic display. "Before we begin, I'd like to share some of Earth's history with you. Our path to the stars wasn't an easy one." The display showed scenes of Earth's tumultuous past, wars, environmental disasters, and social upheavals. But it also showed humanity's resilience, their ability to unite in the face of adversity, and their relentless pursuit of knowledge. "We've made mistakes," Chen admitted, "but we've learned from them. Our technology, our achievements, they're the result of countless sacrifices and a burning desire to better ourselves." Clorak chittered impatiently. "This is all very touching, Captain, but it doesn't explain how you've managed to surpass many of our civilizations in such a short time." Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. "With all due respect, Ambassador, we haven't surpassed you. We've simply taken a different path. Our isolation forced us to innovate in ways your civilizations didn't need to." She gestured, and the hologram changed to show Earth's unique approach to faster-than-light travel. Instead of brute-forcing their way through space-time, humans had learned to weave through the fabric of the universe, using quantum entanglement to create stable wormholes. "We don't seek to dominate or disrupt," Chen continued. "Earth wants to join the galactic community, to share knowledge and culture. But we'll do so as equals, not as subjugated newcomers." The alien delegates exchanged glances. This was unprecedented. Most new species were eager to join the council, willingly accepting a subordinate role in exchange for protection and technology. Humanity's stance was both refreshing and deeply unsettling. Zixnera spoke, its voice a mix of caution and curiosity. "Your goals are admirable, Captain, but surely you understand the Council's hesitation, your rapid advancement, your hidden observations of our civilizations. These actions don't inspire trust." Chen nodded, acknowledging the point. "We're prepared to open our research facilities to Council inspectors, to prove that our intentions are peaceful. In return, we ask for a seat at the Council table, not as supplicants, but as full members with equal voice and vote." The request hung in the air, heavy with implications. Granting Earth such status would upend millennia of galactic politics. It could inspire other young races to demand similar treatment, threatening the established order. As the delegation prepared to return to the Council station, the fate of Earth's bid for recognition remained uncertain. But one thing was clear: humanity had made its mark on the galactic stage, and the ripples of their arrival would be felt across the cosmos for ages to come. Echoes of defiance. The return of the diplomatic envoy to the Galactic Council station set off a firestorm of debate and speculation. News of humanity's audacious request for full Council membership spread like wildfire through the station's gossip networks, leaving shock and indignation in its wake. In a private chamber, High Counselor Zixnera conferred with a select group of senior representatives. The atmosphere was tense, filled with unspoken fears and simmering resentments. "This is unprecedented," growled Morlock, the lupine delegate from the Canine Confederacy. "No species has ever bypassed the probationary period. It would make a mockery of our traditions." Ambassador Clarak's antennae twitched in agitation. Worse, it could inspire other races to demand similar treatment. The Fractions have already sent an official inquiry about accelerating their membership process. Zixnera's eye stalks drooped slightly, a sign of deep contemplation among their species. "We must consider the larger picture. The humans' technology, particularly their method of FTL travel, could revolutionize galactic transportation and commerce." "Or warfare," Morlock interjected grimly. "Have we considered the military implications? If the humans can create stable wormholes at will, they could bypass our defense systems entirely." The room fell silent as the weight of this realization sank in. The strategic balance that had maintained peace for generations could be undone in an instant. Meanwhile, aboard the Prometheus, Captain Aria Chen and her crew were engaged in their own heated discussion. The initial elation of their successful first contact was giving way to the sobering reality of interstellar politics. "We're walking a razor's edge," Commander Raj Patel warned, his usually calm demeanor strained. "If we push too hard, we risk alienating potential allies. But if we show weakness, we'll be relegated to second-class status in the galactic community." Chen nodded, her dark eyes reflecting the stars visible through the ship's panoramic viewport. "We knew this wouldn't be easy, Raj. Humanity has fought too hard, come too far, to accept anything less than full recognition." Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the ship's chief scientist, spoke up. "Perhaps we could offer a technological exchange as a show of good faith. Our advances in quantum computing could be of great interest to the Council races." Chen considered this for a moment before shaking her head. "Not yet. We need to maintain some advantages until our position is secure. For now, we stick to our original plan." Back on the Council station, the debate had spilled out into the public forums. Species that had coexisted peacefully for millennia found themselves at odds, their loyalties tested by humanity's unexpected arrival. In one crowded atrium, a young Aquilian diplomat named Zora found herself defending the human position to a group of skeptical peers. Her iridescent scales shimmered with excitement as she spoke. "Can't you see the opportunity here?" Zora argued passionately. "The humans bring fresh perspectives, new technologies. They could be the catalyst our stagnant cultures need." Her words resonated with some of the younger delegates, but others remained unconvinced. The Galactic Council had maintained a delicate balance for eons, and change, no matter how promising, was viewed with suspicion. As tensions rose, An unexpected voice cut through the din. Ixal, an elder of the enigmatic void dancers, stepped into the center of the atrium. The ethereal being's translucent form pulsed with soft light as it addressed the gathering. In all our long history, Ixal's melodious voice echoed, "We have never encountered a species quite like these humans. Their path to the stars is unique, forged in isolation and adversity. Perhaps it is time for the Council to evolve, to embrace new ideas and new ways of thinking." The Void Dancers were universally respected for their wisdom and neutrality. Ixal's words carried weight, causing many to reconsider their positions. As news of the growing support for Earth's bid spread, not everyone was pleased. In the shadows of the station's lower levels, a clandestine meeting was taking place. Representatives from several militant factions gathered, their faces hidden by holographic disguises. "This cannot be allowed to stand," a gravelly voice insisted. "If the humans gain a foothold in the Council, our carefully laid plans will be jeopardized." Another figure nodded in agreement. "Then we must act quickly. The humans have presented themselves as peaceful explorers, but what if the Council were to see their true nature?" A plan began to form, a scheme to provoke humanity into showing a darker side, one that would justify their exclusion from galactic affairs. Little did these conspirators know that their actions would set in motion a chain of events that would reshape the very fabric of interstellar society. As the Prometheus maintained its vigilant position near the Council station, Captain Chen couldn't shake the feeling that they were balanced on the edge of a knife. One wrong move could spell disaster not just for Earth, but for the entire galaxy. The stage was set for a confrontation that would echo across the cosmos, a test of humanity's resolve and the Council's adaptability. The next few days would determine whether Earth would find its place among the stars or be cast back into cosmic isolation. Shadows of conspiracy. The Galactic Council station hummed with an undercurrent of tension. In the Grand Assembly Chamber, delegates from 100 worlds argued and debated, their voices rising in a cacophony of alien languages. At the center of it all stood High Counselor Zixnera, struggling to maintain order. "Esteemed colleagues," Zixnera's resonant voice cut through the din, "we must reach a decision on the human petition for full membership. The stability of our alliance hangs in the balance." As the debate raged on, Captain Area Chen and a small delegation from Earth waited in an antechamber. The humans had been invited to present their case directly to the Council, a rare honor that underscored the gravity of the situation. Chen paced restlessly, her usual calm demeanor showing cracks. Commander Raj Patel watched her with concern. "Area, you need to center yourself. We can't afford to show any weakness in there." She nodded, taking a deep breath. "You're right, Raj. It's just, everything we've worked for comes down to this moment. The fate of Earth, our place in the galaxy. It all hangs on what happens in that chamber." Before Pavel could respond, a chime sounded. The doors to the assembly chamber slid open, and a Xerixian attendant beckoned them forward. "The Council will hear you now," the crystalline being chimed. As the human delegation entered, a hush fell over the assembled aliens. Hundreds of eyes, tentacles, and sensory organs of all descriptions focused on the newcomers. Chen felt the weight of history on her shoulders as she approached the central podium. "Honorable members of the Galactic Council," she began, her voice steady and clear, "I stand before you not just as a representative of Earth, but as an envoy of hope and progress for our entire galaxy." She went on to outline humanity's vision for cooperation, emphasizing their unique perspectives and technological innovations. As she spoke, holographic displays flickered to life, showcasing Earth's achievements and potential contributions to galactic society. Many delegates seemed swayed by Chen's words and the impressive display of human capabilities. But not everyone was convinced. Ambassador Clarak of the Centauri Dominion rose to speak, his mandibles clicking in agitation. "Impressive words and flashy holograms do not change the fact that these humans have violated our most sacred protocols," Clarak chittered. "They observed us in secret, developed technologies that could threaten our security, and now demand equal status without proving themselves worthy. A murmur of agreement rippled through parts of the chamber. Chen opened her mouth to rebut, but before she could speak, alarms blared throughout the station. Emergency lights bathed the chamber in an eerie red glow. High Counselor Zixnera's eye stalks swiveled wildly. What is the meaning of this interruption? A harried-looking Aquilian rushed into the chamber, scales flashing with distress patterns. High Counselor, we're under attack. Unidentified ships have breached our outer defenses. Chaos erupted in the assembly. Delegates clamored for information, some calling for immediate evacuation, others demanding military action. Through it all, Chen and her team remained calm, exchanging knowing glances. High Counselor, Chen's voice cut through the pandemonium. Allow us to assist. The Prometheus is equipped with advanced defensive capabilities. We can help repel this attack and prove our commitment to galactic peace. Zixnera hesitated for a moment, multiple eyes blinking rapidly in consideration. Finally, they nodded. Very well, Captain Chen. Show us what humanity can do. As Chen and her team raced back to their ship, the station shuddered under enemy fire. Through the viewports, they could see sleek, predatory vessels darting between the Council's defensive platforms, their energy weapons leaving trails of destruction. Aboard the Prometheus, the crew sprang into action with well-drilled precision. Battle stations. Chen barked as she took her place in the command chair. Tactical. Analyze enemy ship configurations. Helm. Plot and intercept course. The human vessel surged forward, its advanced engines flaring with barely contained power. As they closed in on the attackers, Chen's tactical officer, Lieutenant Zhou Wang, called out, "Captain, I'm detecting familiar energy signatures. These ships, they're using modified Zentari technology." Chen's eyes narrowed. The implications were clear. This attack was no random act of piracy. Someone within the Council, likely the militant factions they'd heard whispers about, was trying to destabilize the political situation. "Weapons free," Chen ordered, her voice steel. "Disable their ships, but minimize casualties. We're here to protect, not destroy." The Prometheus danced through space, its point defense systems creating an impenetrable shield around the Council station. Precision strikes from its main batteries left the attacking ships drifting and powerless, their crews alive but neutralized. As the last enemy vessel fell silent, a stunned hush fell over the Council chamber. They had just witnessed humanity's technological prowess firsthand, and it was far beyond anything they had imagined. High Counselor Zixnera's voice crackled over the comms. "Captain Chen, your actions today have spoken louder than any words could. Return to the station. The Council's decision awaits." As the Prometheus docked once more with the Council station, Chen knew that the galaxy had changed irrevocably. Humanity had proven its worth in fire and steel, but the real challenges were just beginning. The shadow of conspiracy loomed large, and Earth's place among the stars was far from secure. The doors to the Council chamber opened before them, and with heads held high, the human delegation stepped forward to meet their destiny. Tides of change. The Galactic Council chamber, usually a bastion of decorum and measured debate, now buzzed with an electric tension. The recent attack and humanity's swift response had shattered long-held assumptions and alliances. As Captain Area Chen and her team re-entered the chamber, a hush fell over the assembled delegates. High Counselor Zixnera's voice rang out, tinged with a mix of gratitude and wariness. "Captain Chen, on behalf of the Council, I extend our deepest thanks for your intervention. Your actions have saved countless lives and preserved the heart of our galactic government." Chen nodded solemnly. "We're glad we could help, High Counselor. Earth stands ready to defend peace and justice across the galaxy." Before further pleasantries could be exchanged, Ambassador Klorak burst forward, his chidness form vibrating with barely contained rage. "This is outrageous. How convenient that the humans were perfectly positioned to play the hero. I demand an investigation." Murmurs of both support and dissent rippled through the chamber. Chen's eyes narrowed, but she held her tongue, waiting to see how the council would respond. Zixnera's eye stalks swiveled, focusing on the agitated Zentari. Ambassador Klorak, your concerns are noted. However, we cannot ignore the fact that the attacking ships bore signatures consistent with Zentari technology. Perhaps it is your own house that requires investigation. Klorak recoiled as if struck. Preposterous. The Zentari Dominion has been a pillar of this council for millennia. We would never. Enough. The voice that cut through the brewing argument belonged to Ixal, the Void Dancer Elder. The ethereal being glided to the center of the chamber, its translucent form pulsing with an inner light. We stand at a crossroads, my friends. The old ways have been shaken. We must adapt or risk tearing ourselves apart. A respectful silence fell as Ixal continued. I propose we convene an emergency session to reevaluate our charter. The humans have proven themselves worthy allies. It is time we consider not just their membership, but a restructuring of the council itself to meet the challenges of this new era. The proposal sent shockwaves through the assembly. Restructure the council. It was unprecedented, yet in the wake of recent events, not entirely unwelcome to many. As debates erupted anew, Chen and her team found themselves at the center of a political maelstrom. Various factions sought their support, while others eyed them with suspicion. Zara, the young Aquilian diplomat who had spoken in humanity's favor earlier, approached Chen. Captain, your actions have inspired many of us. We believe it's time for fresh perspectives in the council. Will you support our call for reform? Chen smiled diplomatically. Earth is committed to positive change, Zora. We'll carefully consider all proposals that promote unity and progress. Meanwhile, Commander Raj Patel had been analyzing data from the recent battle. He pulled Chen aside, his expression grave. Area, I found something. The attack, it wasn't just Zentari tech. There are traces of at least 3 other council races' signatures in the wreckage. Chen's eyes widened. A coalition. This conspiracy runs deeper than we thought. We need to tread carefully, Raj. If we expose this too soon, it could tear the council apart. As the humans conferred, they were unaware of furtive glances and subtle gestures exchanged between certain delegates. The conspirators who had orchestrated the attack were regrouping, adapting their plans to this new reality. In a secluded corner, Ambassador Klorak met with a hooded figure. This is a disaster, Klorak hissed. The humans were supposed to be exposed as warmongers, not hailed as saviors. The hooded individual's voice was calm, almost amused. Patience, Ambassador. This setback is temporary. The humans' very competence will be their undoing. Fear of their power will drive the council into our arms. As the day wore on, the council found itself divided into 3 broad factions. Those who embraced humanity and called for sweeping reforms, conservatives who resisted any change to the established order, and a cautious middle group uncertain of which way to lean. High Counselor Zixnera, feeling the weight of history on their shoulders, made a fateful decision. We will put it to a vote, they announced. In 3 standard rotations, the Council will decide on both humanity's membership status and Ixal's proposal for restructuring. The announcement sent ripples of excitement and apprehension through the station. 3 rotations, barely enough time for diplomacy, but an eternity for scheming and politicking. Captain Chen and her crew returned to the Prometheus, their minds racing with the implications of recent events. As the ship disengaged from the Council station, Chen stared out at the star-studded void. Send a coded transmission to Earth, she ordered. Inform them of the situation and request additional support. Something tells me the next 3 rotations will determine not just our fate, but that of the entire galaxy. As the Prometheus maintained its vigilant orbit, the Council station became a hop of furious negotiation and clandestine meetings. Alliances were forged and broken in whispered conversations, while the conspiracy that had sparked this crisis worked feverishly to turn events to their advantage. The stage was set for a political battle unlike any the galaxy had seen in millennia. and at the heart of it all stood humanity. Newcomers to the cosmic stage, yet already catalysts for monumental change. The next 3 rotations would test their resolve, their principles, and their vision for a united galaxy. As the first rotation began, Captain Chen knew that the real challenge was just beginning. The battle in space had been won, but the war for the future of galactic civilization was only just starting. Echoes of destiny. The Galactic Council station had become a crucible of intrigue and ambition. As the second rotation dawned, the corridors buzzed with furtive whispers and tense negotiations. The impending vote on Earth's membership and council restructuring loomed large, casting long shadows over every interaction. Aboard the Prometheus, Captain Arya Chen pored over intelligence reports with her senior staff. Commander Raj Patel pointed to a holographic display showing movement patterns across the station. "We've detected unusual activity in the lower levels," Patel reported. "Several delegates from traditionally opposed factions have been meeting in secret. Something big is brewing." Arya Chen's eyes narrowed. "Any word from Earth?" Lieutenant Zhou Wang shook her head. "Not yet, Captain. But our long-range sensors have picked up signs of a human fleet en route. They're using our new stealth tech, undetectable to standard council scanners." "Good," Chen nodded. "We may need the backup. For now, we play this close to the chest. The council needs to make this decision without feeling coerced by a show of force." Meanwhile, in the heart of the council chamber, High Councilor Zixnera was engaged in a heated debate with Ambassador Klurak and several other conservative leaders. "You're making a grave mistake," Klurak chittered, mandibles clacking in agitation. "Giving the humans full membership will upset millennia of carefully maintained balance. They're too unpredictable, too powerful." Zixnera's eye stalks drooped in fatigue, but their voice remained firm. "And maintaining the status quo in the face of change is a recipe for stagnation, Ambassador. The attack on this station proved that our current system is vulnerable. We must adapt." As the argument intensified, Ixal the Void Dancer glided into the chamber, its ethereal form casting a soft glow. "Esteemed colleagues, I sense great turmoil in this gathering. Perhaps it is time we consulted the Cosmic Concordance." A hush fell over the assembly. The Cosmic Concordance, an ancient artifact said to contain the collective wisdom of the galaxy's eldest races, had not been used in living memory. Its activation was reserved for only the most momentous of decisions. High Councilor Zixnera hesitated, then nodded solemnly. "Wise Ixal, your counsel is sound. Let us convene in the Chamber of Echoes. The Concordance will be our guide in these uncertain times." As word spread of this unprecedented move, the station's populace was gripped by a mix of excitement and apprehension. Captain Chen and her team, invited as honored guests, found themselves at the heart of a procession leading to the mysterious Chamber of Echoes. The chamber itself was a marvel, a vast, spherical room at the very core of the station. Its walls were lined with an iridescent material that seemed to shift and flow, reflecting the starlight in mesmerizing patterns. At the center stood a pedestal bearing an object that defied easy description. Part crystal, part machine, and part living entity. This was the Cosmic Concordance, thrumming with barely contained energy. As the delegates assembled, Ixal approached the artifact. "Gathered beings of the galaxy, we stand at a crossroads of cosmic significance. We seek the wisdom of the ages to guide us in our choice." The Void Dancer's tendrils of energy intertwined with the Concordance, and suddenly the chamber was filled with swirling lights and echoing voices, the accumulated knowledge and experiences of countless civilizations. Images flashed across the chamber walls, glimpses of possible futures, branching timelines that left the assembled beings gasping in awe and terror. They saw visions of a united galaxy reaching new heights of achievement, but also dark futures where division led to war and destruction. Throughout it all, humanity stood as a linchpin, their actions tipping the scales between harmony and chaos. The council members watched, transfixed, as the fate of civilizations played out before their eyes. As the visions faded, a stunned silence fell over the chamber. The weight of the decision before them had never felt so heavy. Captain Chen, her mind reeling from what she'd witnessed, stepped forward. "Honored members of the council," she began, her voice steady despite the turmoil in her heart. "What we've seen here today transcends politics or individual agendas. The choice before us will shape the destiny of not just humanity, but all sentient life in the galaxy." She paused, looking around the chamber, meeting the eyes, or equivalent sensory organs, of each delegate. "Earth doesn't seek dominance or special treatment. We ask only for the chance to stand alongside you as equals, to face the challenges ahead together. United, we can forge a future brighter than any single race could achieve alone." Her words hung in the air, resonating with the lingering energy of the cosmic concordance. For a moment, it seemed as if the very fabric of space-time held its breath, waiting for the Council's response. But before anyone could speak, alarms blared throughout the station. Lieutenant Wang's voice crackled over Chen's comm unit, urgent and alarmed. "Captain, we've got multiple hostile signatures dropping out of FTL. They're on an attack vector." The chamber erupted in chaos as delegates scrambled for information. High Counselor Zixnera's voice cut through the din. "This is an emergency. All personnel to battle stations." As Chen raced back to the Prometheus with her team, she knew that the next few hours would determine not just the fate of Earth's membership bid, but the very future of galactic civilization. The conspiracy that had been lurking in the shadows had finally shown its hand, and the coming battle would test the resolve of every being on the station. With the human fleet still hours away, the Prometheus and the Council's defense forces stood as the last line of defense against an enemy that threatened to tear the galaxy apart. As her ship disengaged from the docking clamps, Captain Chen steeled herself for the fight of her life, knowing that the ideals of unity and cooperation she had just championed would now be put to the ultimate test. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath as the forces of chaos descended upon the Council station, and the final battle for the galaxy's soul began. Unity's dawn. The vast expanse of space around the Galactic Council station erupted into chaos as the hostile fleet dropped out of FTL. Sleek, predatory ships of various designs, a patchwork armada representing the disgruntled factions of multiple races, bore down on the station with merciless intent. Aboard the Prometheus, Captain Area Chen's voice rang out clear and determined. "All hands, battle stations. Tactical, analyze enemy formations. Helm, initiate evasive pattern Delta 9. As the human ship moved to engage, the Council's defensive fleet scrambled to form a protective barrier around the station. High Counselor Zixnera's voice crackled over the comms. "Captain Chen, we're outnumbered 3-1. Our long-range communications are being jammed. We can't call for reinforcements." Chen's mind raced, assessing options. "Understood, Counselor. We'll buy you time to evacuate the non-essential personnel. Prometheus will lead the defense." The space around the station became a deadly dance of energy beams and missile salvos. The Prometheus weaved through the onslaught, its advanced point defense systems creating a shield of intercepted projectiles. But even with its superior technology, the human ship couldn't be everywhere at once. Inside the Council station, delegates and staff rushed to emergency shelters. Ambassador Klorak found himself running alongside Zora, the young Aquilian diplomat. "I don't understand," Klorak chittered. "Who would be foolish enough to attack the entire Council?" Zara's scales flashed with stress patterns. "Perhaps those who fear change more than they value peace, Ambassador." As they rounded a corner, they came face to face with a group of armed insurgents, Council security personnel who had turned traitor. Klorak instinctively pushed Zora behind him, his warrior instincts kicking in despite years of diplomatic service. But before either side could act, a shimmer of energy coalesced between them. Ixal, the Void Dancer, materialized in a swirl of starlight. "Violence begets only more violence, my children. Let us find another way. Outside, the battle raged on. The Prometheus had scored several key hits, disabling the largest of the enemy capital ships, but the attackers' numbers were telling. Shield warnings blared across the bridge as Chen ordered another evasive maneuver. "Captain," Lieutenant Wong called out, "I'm detecting a power surge from the station. It's like nothing I've ever seen." On the main view screen, they watched in awe as tendrils of energy began to emanate from the Council station. The ethereal strands reached out, enveloping friend and foe alike. Within the Chamber of Echoes, Ixal stood with hands outstretched, its form pulsing with blinding light. The cosmic concordance hummed with power, its energies intertwining with the Void Dancer's own. "For too long, we have allowed fear and mistrust to divide us." Ixal's voice resonated through every ship and corridor. "Now witness the truth that binds all sentient beings." In that moment, every individual, human, alien, attacker, and defender, was joined in a cosmic symbiosis. Thoughts, feelings, and memories flowed freely between all minds. Age-old prejudices crumbled in the face of shared experiences. The pain of the orphaned Zentari child was felt by the human captain. The wonder of a Void Dancer's first starflight was experienced by the Aquilian diplomat. Weapons fell silent. Hostilities ceased as if a switch had been flipped. The sudden absence of weapon fire was replaced by a collective gasp of realization echoing across the battlefield. As the energy subsided, Captain Chen found her cheeks wet with tears, not just her own, but those of countless beings across the station and surrounding ships. She understood now, on a fundamental level, the hopes and fears that drove even those who had opposed Earth's membership. On the Council station, barricades were lowered as former enemies helped each other to their feet. Ambassador Clarak approached Zora, mandibles clicking softly. I had no idea. The depth of your people's struggles, your dreams for the future. Can you forgive an old fool's prejudices?" Zara smiled, her scales shimmering with emotions beyond her own. "There is nothing to forgive, Ambassador. We move forward together." In the Chamber of Echoes, High Counselor Zixnera addressed the assembled delegates, their voice thick with emotion. "We stand at a crossroads no longer. The path before us is clear. Let us forge a new council, one that honors our differences while celebrating our shared destiny among the stars." The vote, when it came, was a mere formality. Earth was welcomed as a full member of the Galactic Council, with Captain Chen accepting the honor on behalf of humanity. But it was more than that. A new charter was drawn up on the spot, restructuring the council to be more inclusive and adaptive. As the Prometheus docked once more with the station, Chen was met by a delegation representing dozens of worlds. Ixal glided forward, its form still shimmering with residual energy from the concordance. "Captain Chen, representatives of Earth," the Void Dancer intoned, "you came seeking membership, but you have given us so much more. You have been the catalyst for a new age of unity and understanding." Chen nodded solemnly, feeling the weight of the moment. "We are honored to stand with you all. Together, there are no challenges we cannot overcome, no frontiers we cannot explore." As news of the events spread across the galaxy, a sense of hope and excitement took hold. The Galactic Council, once a stagnant body mired in tradition, was transformed into a dynamic force for progress and cooperation. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter as the united fleet of former enemies and new allies set course for Earth, ready to welcome humanity's homeworld into a new era of galactic fellowship. As the Prometheus led the way, Captain Aria Chen allowed herself a small smile. The journey had been perilous, the stakes unimaginably high. But in the end, the indomitable spirit of humanity had not only secured their place among the stars, but elevated the entire galactic community. The cosmos watched in wonder as the dawn of a new age of unity and exploration broke across the galaxy, promising adventures yet unimagined and achievements beyond measure. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and the universe would never be the same.